Welcome back to the Solar Porch and Off-Grid Inverter project. This is video number 4, the Inverter and Solar Charge Controller Design and Function. Again, the purpose is to charge my Nissan Leaf. Right to the data. This is a data log from the 12th of September 19, showing some of the best performance that I was able to get. This is a snapshot of using all the power that the solar panels created right away, and we're talking about 13 kilowatt hours. Because the solar energy went right to the loads, the battery temperature did not really go up, and the battery did not reach 54 volts, which is what the charge limit is. When the solar power is going right to AC energy, it's about 95% efficient. When it goes to the battery and then to AC energy, it's about 80% efficient. So this is data from a local weather station. They measure irradiation from the sun, and I compared that to my solar porch. It looks like my solar porch collects about 40% of the available solar energy that hits the earth. So not really sure why that is. Might be the fixed racking. This shows what happens if I don't use all the power. This is a little bit earlier, and you can see the battery, the red line at the top, goes up to 54 volts, and then the power drops off. And then when I plug my car in, the temperature of the battery goes back up again, and eventually the battery goes flat and it switches over to grid power. Just to recap, this is the layout of the system, and I'm going to talk about the inverter and the solar charge controller. I bought this from hurricanewindpower.com. From a guy named Scott. He was really helpful, answered all my questions. I looked at all the specifications. This is going to meet my needs, and it's expandable. This is a stackable one. This is the MPP charge controller that I went with. It's a 100 amp battery charger, and it has the 200 volt input. They make two different ones. This is the higher voltage one. This allowed me to do 4 series on the panels instead of 3 series, which works with 16. And it came with the little readout and the battery temperature sensor and the PC cable. I had to get this little data logger. That little data logger saves the data to the computer. I'm going to do a whole video on how this is wired. Just for my own information, I need a wiring diagram for this, but this is the power wall, and the meters down there in the lower right, I'm actually going to upgrade those so that they do a better job recording the power flows. But it's pretty compact for all the power it has. And I can expand it off to the right of the screen with a second power inverter to double the output. Just a quick view of the generator inlet on the side of my house and where that ties into this. So I had a manual transfer switch, a 10 space at the bottom there. That's a Coleman, and I added this motorized transfer switch single right here. And the generator comes in on the left and the solar comes in on the right, and whichever one has power, it'll automatically send that to the 10 circuit manual. This is the software for the Ep4 solar charge controller. This is just a real-time snapshot. It doesn't save the data. So I would have thought that it would, but you have to buy this E-log. This is the software for the E-log. It uses the same cable. You just have to close the real-time software, bring this up, and then download it. I wanted to talk a little bit about some lessons learned on an Asian inverter that I bought. I don't recommend any of them because I think they're all made the same and they have the same problems. This is the one I bought, MDOWD, real reputable brand. This is showing the error code. Basically what happened is the FETs inside shorted out, and no matter what I did, the parts need to be replaced, and they're 80 amp FETs, and I can't find replacements. So obscure parts can't be replaced. Don't recommend. And I went back with these guys over and over and over again, no resolution. And looking at their contact page, you can see that they're cute puppy dogs, not people. So buy solar parts from people. This is the inside of it. The top board there's 2 boards. The top one is allegedly an 80 amp 500 volt MPPT controller. There's just not enough material there. So the next video is going to be a deep dive on the home wiring and the integration. And I'm going to add a video where I talk about updates and ongoing improvements